Okay, first time I ever came face to face with this is the new statue of Robert Burns, or Robbie Burns, whatever. It's huge. I didn't know it was that big. So anyway, there's a man that started all this commotion there, and then we're gonna have a little chat. Anyway, we'll see what's going on. And what's your name?
Jordan Graham.
And you are?
A city councillor here in Fredericton.
So, Jordan, what are you trying to do? Start a war between the clan, the Scotchmen? And,
No. I would never do that.
I'm glad to hear.
My last name's Graham, so I'd have no interest in fighting with my own heritage.
I thought that was Irish.
Nope, not Irish.
Sean Graham told me it was Irish.
Oh, really? No, we from the Clan Graham, Neobly from Scotland. That's what I've always been taught.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you...
Maybe you asked Sean on St. Patrick's Day or something.
The way it was, I thought I had to go take this glove and just go like this, like you have insulted me culture. Okay, now how did all this start? Now we're done during the budget, the proceeding, and you went to hours and hours and hours, and something in your mind just clicked in, said $80,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I did, and I still think it's a lot of money. The unfortunate thing is sometimes when you're tired, you can't put the words together just the way you mean them, and what you do say sounds a lot worse than what it was. It came out in the newspaper that I thought it was a waste and that I thought he wasn't unique, which I use those words, but certainly not in the context that they were portrayed, and that's not Heather's fault. It's just not how I meant to come across. First off, I don't think it's a waste to put money into Robbie Burns. I mean, that's not even plausible. What I thought was, look, if you have a chance to go out to other people and see if there are other monies out there before you spend all of your money on it, then do it. And if you don't do it, then you're wasting money. And that's what I meant by that. If you had a chance to get other money by it. And then the other comment was about its uniqueness. Somebody at the table said that there were only 2 Robbie Burns statues outside of Scotland. And I said, no, it's not that unique. In talking about that, which maybe it was the wrong term, but it certainly wasn't due to this.
Are you trying to tell me you have ADHD? You speak before thinking?
Oh, I've done that my whole life.
95% of the politicians have ADHD.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. But yeah, like this is nothing to do with Robbie Burns to me or anything like that. Like what this is it's a few things. I mean, for starters, I think that if we keep looking to government for cultural preservation, I mean, there's something to be said about how we deal with culture in New Brunswick.
But then you get the bilingualism issue.
Yeah, well, bilingualism is more than culture. It's operations. It's functionings of people's lives, and that's a basic right. Celebrating heritage, it's a right to celebrate heritage. But ask yourself this, Charles. If you were to do something and you wanted the government to pay for it all, and the government did that, how much of a galvanizing effort do you think that would be for the people?
You know what? I was just going to get to that. That's a good point, because I was getting to that point. Okay, now, let's go back. I don't know if you did your investigation, but let's go back to the year 1906.
Yep.
How did that statue first come here? Do you know?
Yeah. I did some research on that, and I've certainly had a lot of people tell me afterwards as well. That was put here by the citizens of mostly New Brunswick, residents that were members of Scottish associations. I think there were to the tune of 7 of them.
So we're different all around the province, or because Fredericton is the capital.
Fredericton's the capital.
So was it all around the province, or just Fredericton?
Yeah, they're from the Miramichi, they're from St. John. I think there was one from the Restigouche area. I could be wrong on that. But it was a provincial effort that came forward.
Provincial effort.
To put this person where he was.
Well, we're getting somewhere now.
Yeah.
So if it's a provincial effort, how come it's not a provincial issue?
Well, it's not a provincial issue because, as was pointed out to me after, it was offered as a gift to the city of Fredericton, and the city accepted responsibility for it.
Oh, you mean like the Lord Beaverbrook Gallery? Same thing, the gift?
No, I don't think that's a gift to the city. That's still entrusted to the board. Okay,
sorry, jumping here.
But yeah, like it was offered to a gift, and I think part of that, what I can find, I can't find much about why it was offered, but I've been going door to door lately, and people are almost every door they ask me about Robert Burns. Because it's I will admit I didn't realize it was as popular of an issue as what I thought it would be. But no, I was talking to some people, and one lady tipped me off, and she said that back a while ago, it used to be part of UNB Orientation Week to do something to the Robert Burns statue. And one year, it was even painted. Somebody painted the Robert Burns statue, a couple different really bright colors. And so my suspicion is that over time, the cost of bringing Robert Burns back to normal from all of this, I guess you'd almost say initiations or whatever it was, probably got too much for the Scots Association to bear.
Okay.
And short of letting it deteriorate, they probably offered it to the city of Fredericton. This is entirely speculation, by the way. The city might have owned it by then, but it would, I'd imagine, be getting quite expensive. I mean, we can imagine how costly it is to maintain something that's being vandalized that's this valuable. So I suspect that it was turned over for that reason. And I mean, like, it's like a lot of things. Gifts that are typically offered to the city, there's usually a good reason for that. It's usually because
they don't want it.
Well, that's part of it. It's not that they don't want it, it's just that we need it to go on, but we need somebody that can support it. Now, we need to make sure that its future is guaranteed. And I don't think that the future of Robert Burns is jeopardized at all. It's going to go back in its place. We just have to figure out how we're going to do it.
But you have succeeded by you not being educated on the issue. You have succeeded in bringing the issue to light big time.
Well, I don't want to say I wasn't educated on the issue. I did some homework, and I mean, I wouldn't...
Afterward?
No, I did some work before. I did some work during council as well, but I knew a bit about what I was going into. And
but everybody's talking about it now.
Yeah, well, you know, like, at the end of the day, the statue's going to be back into place. Yeah. I've put my name out there as somebody who, look, Charles, think about it this way. If I wanted to do the easy thing, I could have voted yes and just put it up there. Yeah. But I'm willing to work with anybody who wants to work with me to fundraise every penny of that $40,000 that's remaining. Think about how many people are speaking out on the issue. If everybody gave a little bit on that, right? I was speaking to people that said, Jordan, you know what? I agree with you. We shouldn't be funding that through the city budget. I'll donate money. Let me know where. And there are things that would have to be worked out on how we do that. But I talked with some people with MB Liquor and saying, hey, do you think that we might be able to, I don't know, tie 1% of Scotch sales to it? Scotch is pretty Scottish, right? So tie Scotch sales to it, and that would probably boost sales alone. So there's so many ways to fundraise for it. And,
true.
Like, the thing that I can't help but imagine is, think of how great a celebration it would be if the people that wanted this up there worked really, really hard for it and got it up there. Go back to 1906 and look at all the stuff that happened then. Do you think that would have happened if a bureaucracy sat down and said, hey, we're going to put a statue here, or not put a flag here, or not put something there? I mean, the reason it was so celebrated was in part because people worked so hard and offered so much for it.
That's true. I have to agree. There must have been a big celebration then. And
there was a parade.
A lot of pride.
Oh, there's so much pride. And I mean, like, I have nothing against the Scottish people. Like I said, my name's Graham. Like, I'm Scottish myself in heritage. Partially, not entirely. But this is nothing against Robert Burns. I appreciate his history, and I've certainly taken a lot more time to understand more than just Old Lang Syne is his work. Like, he's done a lot more than that. And what I'm trying to accomplish here is more about how we deal with cultural preservation. Culture's got to be for the people and by the people. It can't be bureaucrats deciding what stays and what goes. The culture that's preserved can't be dependent on whoever's the best at filling out an application form or something. We've got to celebrate it. We've got to make sure that it's what we're working towards. And if culture dies, then we can assume that it wasn't important enough to be supported. Is that, like, that you could think that people in New Brunswick are fighters. We're resilient, and if something's important to us, we'll find a way to make it work. We always have.
You know what? That's a very good point, and we'll just leave it at that. And hopefully this issue will be resolved, no problem.
Yeah. Well, I have to say one thing. I put an email out to Dan Taylor saying that I wanted to work with him and I wanted to work with the Scots Association, and I found out through the newspaper that they had no willingness to meet with me. And I have not heard back from him since then, and my offer still stands.
And Bob Lockhart, too, Bob Lockhart, former mayor of St. John, wrote a letter to the editor this morning. Did you see it?
Not yet, no.
He said he was upset also, you know.
Yeah. Well, what I think is, if we're serious about getting Bobby Burns back in the ground, or on the ground, then take me up on my offer and let's start working toward it.
Okay.
We can talk as much as we want about how angry we are, but right now I feel like I'm one of the only people that's standing up saying, let's do something about this. Let's actually roll up our sleeves and get moving on it. The city budget's set. It's time to move forward. Let's get him back on the ground.
And if you see a person with a kilt walking toward you, run! Run, Jordan! Run!
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Charles.
Okay.